Commissioner Cruz, where in the world are you?
Well, I'm in the by the banks of the beautiful Danube River in Budapest, and I just need direction from the city if you'd like another sister city, so we can go after that too.
Okay, well, travel safe.
Thank you.
We have a local planning agency meeting tonight, but we're going to do we're going to start with the commission meeting, and then we will recess the commission meeting and go into the LPA. There's lawyers charging lots of money per hour, and the client is nodding his head, saying yes, thank you very much. So we will try to get to that, but there's a reason why we're starting the commission meeting. We have a very, very special guest. So first, I would ask that all those that can, Commissioner Freeland, you're excused. If you can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any deletions or additions, Mr. Manager?
There are none.
Okay. Any commission reports? Yes. Okay. Commissioner Bloom.
Two quick things. The first is I wanted to congratulate the Don Stouffer High School class of 2025. Yes, thank you. It is our third graduating class in the history of the school, which is quite the milestone. And being the third graduating class, our graduates are going on, I should say, to top schools in the country, so we're very proud of them. And we want to also thank all of our educators for helping them get there. The second item is tomorrow night here in this building, in this room, at 6 p.m., we are hosting a fraud awareness town hall. You can join us for an important evening focused on protecting yourself and your loved ones from scams, phishing, spoofing, and other forms of fraud. You'll hear directly from the experts of the Aventura Police Department's Economics Crime Unit and practical tips to stay one step ahead, so please join us.
Thanks. Where is the tomorrow night? Where is it?
Tomorrow night is right here in this room, 6 p.m.
Very worthwhile, and kudos to our chief and our police department. We are miles ahead of other municipalities when it comes to economic crimes, financial fraud, ID theft. People report it to us, and we have detectives that are very skilled and they follow the money. It's a different kind of police work, and it's very difficult and very labor intensive. The results we've had have been incredible. So this is a very worthwhile, and thank you, Commissioner Bloom, for spearheading that. Any other reports? Okay, seeing none, we have special presentations, no proclamations tonight. That is a change. Usually we're averaging, I think, 3.5 proclamations a month, but we're taking a break this month. So we do have special presentation. Are there any special recognitions also? We have any?
Just for the Community Services Advisory Board, which we'll do
after.
Okay,
we'll do that after. Great. So tonight, at my request, and I really, really greatly appreciate it, we have someone that's going to speak to us. It is so relevant to what is happening in the world right now. It's so relevant to our community in particular, and from a timing standpoint, it could not be any more important. This really, I probably can talk about this gentleman for a longer time than he's going to even speak tonight, but I have to spend some time to tell you because this is a treasure in our own community. This is, as they say, local kid made good, okay? This kid, and when you see him stand up, you'll see why it's funny that I'm calling him a kid. This gentleman grew up here. I'm pretty sure he went to Hillel, at least for part of his life, right? Country Day as well. And basically, right now, he's a federal judge. So I'm going to read a little bit and then tell you my opinion. In 2019, Judge Altman, Roy Altman, if you need, I want you to know the name, was confirmed to a seat on the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. At 36 years old, he became the youngest federal district court judge in the country and the youngest federal judge ever appointed in the Southern District of Florida. Judge Altman received his BA from Columbia University. He played quarterback on the football team. I assume he did it at Country Day before that. He was understood. He also pitched for the baseball team at Columbia. He earned all Ivy honors as an athlete. He received his law degree from Yale Law School. He was projects editor of the Yale Law Journal. After law school, he clerked on the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals for the Honorable Stanley Marcus. He then became a federal prosecutor at the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Miami. Twice he received the Director of the Executive Office of U.S. Attorney's Award for superior performance by a federal prosecutor. He was named in 2013 Federal Prosecutor of the Year by the Miami-Dade Chiefs of Police and the Law Enforcement Officers Charitable Foundation. How interesting that the current president of the Miami-Dade Chiefs of Police is our own chief, Michael Bentalila, and congratulations on being sworn in 2 weeks ago. In 2014, Judge Altman became a partner at the Miami law firm of Pothurst and Orsic, where he represented the victims of airplane crashes and bank fraud conspiracies. So that doesn't really tell the story. Subsequent to the events on October 7th, the judge has been correcting the false narrative that have been so prevalent in our society, and he has been speaking literally all over the country. We met up in Beverly Hills at the mayor's conference to combat anti-Semitism. Getting him here tonight was not easy because he is so booked, he's so in demand, and when he speaks, it's just so important. And he's also, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but at least 3 times since October 7th, he has led missions to Israel where he takes 20 or 30 federal judges, many of whom are not Jewish, and it's a truth-seeking mission where they see, this is what's really going on. This is what it's really all about. The judge is educating people every single day. Ironically, if that's the correct word, when those of us that were on the commission when we had the controversy about the field turf and the pickleball courts, and people were coming in dressed as trees, and I was going to be recalled, and we got sued, and a whole bunch of things. We reached out to this remarkable woman, a PhD, Rachel Silverstein, who's the CEO of Miami Waterkeeper, and we asked her point blank, we want to know from your expert opinion, not this side says this and this side says this, and we all are doing our own education and our own research. Tell us from your expert perspective, what is it? What is the correct road that we should go down? And we got her opinion, which we very much appreciated, and it caused her to really be attacked by people who didn't share her opinion very unfairly. She was actually very forthcoming to help us. It was just on a volunteer basis, so it was very, very nice. Why am I raising this? Well, because number one, pretty much everybody loves the end result, the pickleball and the new gardens on the water and the athletic fields. But more importantly, that woman that offered to help us, it obviously runs in the family because that woman, Rachel Silverstein, is the judge's wife. So it's a great story. It's a wonderful story. With that, Judge, if you would honor us, no pun intended, but I can't stop with the dad jokes, I'm sorry. Please, the floor is yours and take whatever time you want, but we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, for that very warm introduction. I've never been to a city commission where everybody seems to get along so well. I don't know if it was like an act for me, but there's one of them who has only one leg and everybody's helping her. So it seems to be a very pleasant place to live and to work. You mentioned my wife. I have to tell you that, I go around the country and people call me Your Honor. And when I come into the courtroom, people have to stand. But, at home, she really is the boss. In fact, I'm only here because she lets me, because she thinks it's important. I'll tell you one quick story about that. I coach my kids' baseball teams, the Maccabees, obviously. We just won the championship, by the way. And I was going to coach, and I said to my wife, here, take my phone. You can take photos of me and the kids. And so she took my phone. I got my phone back after the game. And, we were together all weekend, so I didn't really have an occasion to call her. But then on Monday, I'm back at work, and I needed to call her. I looked through my phone, Rachel Silverstein, and her number appears nowhere in my phone. So I was like, well, maybe I'm having some kind of trauma. I don't remember her phone number. So I go through my phone again. Maybe I changed it to wife at some point and don't remember. There was nothing. So I'm starting to get nervous that I'm getting like early amnesia. And I had a law clerk who was leaving after her clerkship. So we had a big party, all the old law clerks come back, and we were taking a photo. So one law clerk takes my phone to take a picture of me with this law clerk, and suddenly the law clerk starts to shake and says, oh my God, Judge, the Supreme Court is calling you. And I was like, the Supreme Court? Like, which one do you think it is? And so I go to take my phone, and sure enough, it says the Supreme Court. And I answer it, and it was my wife. She had changed her name in my phone to the Supreme Court, just to remind me who was the boss. Anyway, as the mayor mentioned to you, I have taken 3 trips of federal judges to Israel. I just actually closed registration for a 4th. We'll be taking 25 federal judges to Israel in March of next year. Most of them not Jewish, as the mayor said, never been to Israel before. And, the first thing we do with these judges is we go to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial in Israel. And the first time I went there, we were taken to a room by the head archivist of Yad Vashem. Is it me, the microphone, or can I use this one? What do we think?
Sorry, Judge, because it's also live streamed.
I have a microphone on me for the live stream.
No, that's for the recording. So they're going to fix that. I'm sorry
How about this? Does that work? Yeah? Okay. So anyway, we go to Yad Vashem. And by the way, you shouldn't feel badly, because in federal court, the technology never works. That's a feature of good governance. So anyway, no, I don't think this is going to, I think maybe it's the double microphone. How about now? Okay. So anyway, we go to Yad Vashem, and they take us to a room I'd never been to before. It was a room of early German propaganda, 33, 34. And there was a giant poster in the center of the room. And the poster was of an enormous cockroach dressed as a Jew. In one eye was the reflection of money bags, representing Jewish high finance, Jewish wealth, Jewish capitalism. And in the other eye, the hammer and sickle, Jewish poverty, Jewish communism, Jewish egalitarianism. And our tour guide takes us over to the right, and there's a TV screen in black and white, and it's Hitler. And he's giving a speech, and he says, we mean to eradicate the evil of Jewish capitalism, Jewish wealth, Jewish high finance from the continent of Europe. And in the next sentence, he says, and we mean to eradicate the evil of Jewish communism, Jewish poverty, Jewish egalitarianism from the continent of Europe. So our guide, he says to us, he says, a lot of Westerners come here and they think, I get it. Hitler was an idiot. Jews can't be bad because they're both rich and poor. Jews can't be evil because they're both capitalist and communist. That doesn't make any sense. But you see, he explained to us, we are the idiots because we are the ones who do not understand what Jew hatred really is. Jew hatred is an ancient virus. It morphs like COVID. If you're inoculated against clade A, Jews are capitalists, then your society will get clade B, Jews are capitalists. If you're inoculated against clade C, Jews are communists, then it'll morph into its opposite. Remember, what was the great fear about Jews in the Middle Ages? What led to all the expulsions, the inquisitions, the persecutions? That we couldn't be trusted because we were stateless. And now, of course, you see from college campuses to Western media outlets that we are hated precisely because we have a state of our own. Jew hatred, he taught us, is just the lie that any given society is willing to accept about the Jews. But while Jew hatred may have taken many shapes and sizes, many different manifestations through the years, we can see recurrent themes and recurrent trends, even to our own day. As the mayor mentioned, it couldn't be more prescient now. In the 1870s, the most famous art institute in the world was the St. Petersburg Academy of Art, the most prestigious of all. And in the 1870s, the first Jew ever admitted to the St. Petersburg Academy of Art was Leon Baskt, a great artist of his time. He painted as his submission to the Academy in 1873, a painting of Jesus Christ in Jerusalem, surrounded by Jews from the Lithuanian ghetto, making the point, of course, that Jesus was a Jewish man, born in a Jewish city, Bethlehem, living in a Jewish kingdom thousands of years ago. And for it, what did he get? Protests for the rest of his life, banned and thrown out of the St. Petersburg Academy of Art, his work completely destroyed. Now, we might have thought that level of anti-Semitism we left behind in 1874, and you would be wrong. Just this year, Netflix came out with a documentary about the life of Mary, the mother of Jesus. And just like Leon Baskt, the producers and the director had the gall of placing in the role of Mary a Jewish woman. And for that cardinal sin, hundreds of thousands of people took to the internet to protest the production of the film and to call for it to be forever boycotted and removed from Netflix. An ancient trope come back again. In the latter half of the 19th century, the greatest of all Viennese musicians was Gustav Mahler. At Columbia, we're required to study all the ancient greats, and we have a 2-week course just on Mahler. And Mahler was called to be the director of the opera in Vienna in 1897, the greatest honor that could be bestowed on a musical composer. Beside him, Arthur Schoenberg, actually the grandfather of the lawyer who ends up bringing the litigation in the Supreme Court of the United States to get back The Woman in Gold, the painting by Klimt that was stolen by the Nazis and then held by the Austrian government. There's a great movie about that. These are the two great musicians of the latter half of the 19th century, and they are both Austrian and they are both Jews. And they begin playing Jewish-themed music in their concerts, not all the time, but interspersing it here and there. And how is it received? With boycotts, with riots, with protests so severe that Gustav Mahler himself is thrown out of his role as director of the Austrian opera, forced out of Vienna, and later out of Austria entirely, and has to live and die penniless in New York City. Again, we would have thought that we had left all of that behind in the 1890s. But in the last 18 months, probably the most well-known Jewish musician in America, Matisyahu, a Jewish reggae artist, has had hundreds of his concerts canceled because the grips and the sound engineers and the producers refuse to work with a Jew. He's had dozens of his concerts cut short because people throw things at him. His security has been doubled, tripled, and quadrupled, all because he's a Jew. And then we have what's going on our campuses. My own alma maters, you've heard, at Columbia and Yale. You've probably seen videos by now of the university in Vienna with students linking arm in arm to prevent Jewish kids from going to class. And again, you would have thought history has learned its lesson. We've left that behind in 1934. But you would be wrong. In 2024, at Yale and Columbia and university campuses all over this country, students linked arm in arm to prevent their Jewish classmates from crossing the boardwalk, from going to class, from entering their dorm rooms, and the universities did absolutely nothing about it. And now we come to the next and logical phase of Jew hatred. You could be run out of the movies or the art world, banned and boycotted from musical concerts and concert halls, harassed, spit on, called offensive slurs on university campuses. But that's never where it ends. And 1934 led ineluctably to 1939, and the foisting of Jews onto carts made for animals, and then to gas chambers where they were burned alive and strangled and asphyxiated by the millions. And now the Jew hatred in America has also taken a more nefarious turn. Just 2 weeks ago, 2 people murdered in Washington, D.C. The young woman, 26 years old, a young man, 30 years old, who were set to be engaged this week, in Jerusalem. He was killed on the spot. She survived the initial barrage of gunfire. Bleeding almost to death, she crawled away from him, her assailant, towards the curb at the end of the street, only to have him calmly walk up to her and fire several more bullets into her head, yelling and chanting the slogan of the pro-terror, anti-Jewish movement as it's manifested and exists today: Free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. For 18 months, we have been saying this is a movement that advocates the killing of Jews. And we've been told, no, it's not that. Just like in the Holocaust, people were saying these are death camps. No, they're just work camps. They're just re-education camps. You're blowing it out of proportion. And now, just this week, another man chanting the slogans of Free Palestine, tossing Molotov cocktails, burning 12 Jews who were marching for what? For the release of our hostages, boys, 20, 25 years old, who are being held in holes, deep, dark, dank holes, hundreds of feet beneath the earth, surveilled by real life monsters without food, without water, without sunlight, without even enough air to breathe. For the return of these men, they were marching. And for that, there's a woman in the hospital now, consumed in fire, fighting for her life. What kind of life will she lead, even if she does survive? Folks, all of this is unsurprising. The chance of globalize the intifada. There is no Israeli colony somewhere in North America. There are no Israeli offshoots and islands somewhere in Southeast Asia. Globalize the intifada means kill Jews around the globe. That's all it means. And this is what it looks like. And unfortunately, this is what it will continue to look like until our leaders and our media outlets and our university campuses change their narrative. What do I mean? The biggest lie that has been told about the one Jewish state in the world over the last 24 months is that the IDF is engaging in genocide in Gaza, folks. Nothing could be further from the truth. We, the judges who go to Israel, we review all of the protocols that the IDF goes through before each strike in Gaza. The fact of the matter is that the strikes in Gaza are all being approved by military lawyers, young lawyers. And over again, we were shown videos of a Hamas target, guys with Kalashnikovs or rifles or bazookas, and the plane is over the target, and the pilot says, "I'm ready to fire," and then something amazing happens. This nerdy little lawyer comes over the airwave and says, "What's that up on the right of the screen?" And the pilot will say, "Oh, that's two children playing soccer 50 meters away." Or it's two women holding a loaf of bread 25 meters to the west. Strike canceled, strike canceled, strike canceled, over and over and over again. And the results speak for themselves. The average and acceptable limit of civilian to militant casualties in the context of urban warfare is 1 to 9. 1 militant for every 9 civilians, not because every war that's ever happened has been a genocide, but because urban warfare is horrible. That's why we do not allow militants like Hamas to embed themselves within civilian infrastructure. We, the judges, saw their command centers in little girls' bedrooms, underneath mosques, inside of hospitals. One of my legal intern's first cousins was killed just a few months ago, stepping on a landmine in an elementary school. So 1 to 9 is the average ratio of civilian to militant casualties in the context of urban warfare. We, the United States, we set the gold standard in Iraq and Afghanistan. We had a ratio of 1 to 4.5, 1 to 5. And many war scholars believe that no army would ever be able to match that gold standard again. Folks, over the last year and a half, in far more complicated scenarios, where the enemy has built a terror tunnel system the size of the London Underground, over 500 kilometers of tunnels, which, by the way, the civilians are not allowed to enter. Remember, every home in Israel must, by law, have a bomb shelter to protect the civilian population. But just 2 weeks ago, Hamas's spokesperson told Lebanese TV, no, we don't allow the civilians in the tunnels. Those are just for the fighters. We need the civilians to die. These are what they call their calculations. So in much more complicated scenarios, where tens of thousands of Hamas fighters are literally inside and underneath civilian infrastructure, the IDF has a militant to civilian kill ratio of about 1:1, the lowest by about 75% in any urban warfare environment over the last 100 years. And yet, it is that army, the Israeli army, that is brought on false and preposterous charges of genocide at the ICC and the ICJ. It is that army that's being accused of war crimes on Western campuses. It is that army about whom the murderer 2 weeks ago in Washington, D.C., and the attempted murderer just this week in Colorado claimed that he was acting against. When you tell a lie long enough, when you tell a lie loudly enough, when you tell it to enough people and you repeat it over and over again, guess what happens? People start to believe it. And when the lie is awful enough, when it is nefarious enough, when the lie is the ultimate lie, that an army is committing the ultimate crime, the crime of genocide, the crime that was perpetrated against us, and because of which our army, the IDF, exists in the first place. When that lie is told, that is not an innocuous lie. It is not the kind of lie that people will take lying down. It is the kind of lie that certain people in certain places will act upon, because people will convince themselves, well, they're doing a genocide. They're killing millions of people. We must take it upon ourselves to stop this. Anyone would have killed Hitler and been a hero. Anyone would have killed the leader of the Rwandan forces and been a hero. Anyone would have killed the head of the Turks when he was committing a genocide against the Armenians and been declared a hero. So these lies, we must understand, are the lies that are precipitating, that are causing, and that are directly leading to the violence that we see on our streets today. And here is the reality. The reality is that unless the leaders in our community start to take a stand, start to speak the truth, start to show moral clarity around this country, and make clear that these lies about the Jewish people are not only wrong, but they are dangerous, what we've seen in DC and Colorado will continue to happen again and will lead to the spiraling Jew hatred of the pogroms that we fled Europe from 100 years ago. So I want to end with one story. We, the judges, we went to Reim, the site of the music festival massacre. 364 boys and girls murdered, raped, burned alive, and mutilated just for being at a dance party. A dance party, by the way, for peace with the Palestinians. It's the largest killing field of innocent Jews anywhere in the world since the Holocaust. So we, the judges, we come off the bus and we see the memorial that they've created there. It's a very powerful memorial, a mound of sand for each person who fell. And from the mound is a wooden stick with a picture of the person who was killed there. 364 of them. We come off the bus, and there's a mother lying prostrate over the mound of her son, wailing uncontrollably, sobbing inconsolably. Her family members were trying to pull her off of the dirt, but she would not be moved. And I thought to myself, we can't just stand over her like this. We got to move somewhere else. So we started moving over towards the right, and we came to a clearing in Reim filled with flowers. And I recognized the clearing because I had seen the 47-minute video of Hamas atrocities on October 7th. I've actually seen it 3 times on each of our 3 trips. The most horrible 47 minutes of my life. And I recognized a scene that occurred on that clearing towards the end of the video. It was a scene of an IDF soldier showing up at the Re'im massacre site after the terrorists had gone. And you could see it from his body armor camera. And he comes to the large bar of the festival. It's a rectangular bar with a tent. Probably seen it if you've been to festivals before. Low bar with an outer wall. And he's yelling, Mishu Chai, is anyone alive? And then he looks over the low outer wall of the bar, and it's unbelievable. It was like a Holocaust movie, except not in black and white, in color. Piles of bodies of young girls in miniskirts and their going out outfits with bullet holes all over their bodies, just piled on top of each other behind the bar. That's where we were on that clearing. And suddenly, as I came to the clearing, I thought I heard music. And I thought I was going crazy. But then I looked up and I saw a group of like 50 women, arm in arm in a giant circle. And they said, please join us. So I did. And then I noticed something amazing. All these other federal judges from all over the country, Idaho and Arkansas, Kentucky, and everywhere in between, non-Jews, were interspersing themselves along the circle too. And then we all began to sing. And you know what we sang? We sang Hatikva, the Jewish national anthem. And I thought, what an amazing symbol of these people. These women had left whatever they were doing on a Thursday in Tel Aviv and rented a bus and driven 2 hours to the south by Gaza, an active war zone in the middle of nowhere, to get into a giant circle on the spot where more innocent Jews were killed since the camps were liberated in 45, to sing a song, not of vengeance or hatred or vindictiveness, but of hope. Because that's what tikva means. It means hope. Hope for each other. Hope for the land. Hope for that beautiful country for which they and their ancestors had fought for 3,000 years. A people deserving of our love, our admiration, and our respect. Thank you all very much for having me.
Thank you. Incredible. Thank you so much, Judge. I just want to read, and then I want you to, if you could come up here and so we can present you with the certificate and thank you in person. Certificate of Special Recognition presented to Judge Roy K. Altman in recognition of your courageous public stance against anti-Semitism. The City Commission of the City of Aventura applauds your devotion against hatred, persecution, and tyranny. Presented this 3rd day of June 2025, signed by myself, Howard Weinberg, as mayor. Thank you so much. Folks, now you know why I insisted that the judge come and speak here in Aventura. Was that wonderful? I mean, so powerful. Local kid made good. Okay. Mr. Manager, I think you have Community Service Advisory Board members.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to recognize the new members and recurring members of our Community Services Advisory Board, and I'd like to present them with a certificate of appreciation and call them up one by one. So if Marge Rosenblatt could come up to the front. Thank you. You're very welcome. Mr. Daniel Naim. Thank you. Ms. Donna Mayers. And one of our newest members, Joseph Lakac. A lot of highlights. Take us more. Thank you. Look forward to it. Mr. Bruce Davidson. And our second new member is Mrs. Rocio Lopez Varela. Congratulations. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. We're going to recess. I need a motion so we can go into the LPA, and then we'll come back to the commission meeting. Can I have a motion to recess made by Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Ain? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz, are you still on?
Yes, yes.
Vice Mayor Linsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, so we're recessed at 6:59, and we'll go right into the LPA. Let's call that meeting to order with a roll call.
Mayor Weinberg?
Still here.
Vice Mayor Linsky?
Here.
Commissioner Ain?
Present.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Here.
Commissioner Bloom?
Here.
Commissioner Friedland?
Here.
Commissioner Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Pegues?
Here.
And Mr. Myers? You have a quorum.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the minutes of May 6, 2025. Commissioner Ain, seconded by Vice Mayor Orlinsky. Let's vote.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Linsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item 4, I need, well, this, now 4A, B, and C are quasi judicial. So I'm going to ask the city attorney to provide the procedures for quasi judicial hearings.
Thank you, Mayor. Please be advised that the following items on the LPA agenda are zoning hearings and are quasi-judicial nature. As such, the quasi-judicial procedures of the city shall be invoked for these items. If you wish to object or comment upon these items, please inform the mayor when public comments are requested. An opportunity for persons to speak on these items will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on the items. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation for these quasi-judicial items. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse either to be cross-examined or to be sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the commission to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. One other thing, if I can, Mayor, if any of the commissioners had any ex-parte communications they wish to disclose that they didn't disclose at the prior meeting, now's the time to do it. If you disclosed at the prior meeting, you don't have to disclose again.
Okay, thank you. And Madam Clerk, you're going to swear in anyone offering testimony?
Right, if you'll be providing comments or testimony on any of these items, I need you to stand up and be sworn in at this time. This is for items A, B, or C on the agenda for the LPA meeting. I need you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Okay, resolution, please.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting a variance from Section 31-145B1A of the city's land developments regulations to permit a mixed-use development where the ratio of square feet of residential uses to commercial uses is 10.58 to 1, where a maximum ratio of 3 to 1 is required, and variance from Section 31-145B5F to permit 1, a front setback of 15 feet where 25 feet is required, 2, a side street setback of 15 feet where 20 feet is required, and 3, a rear setback of 12 feet where 20 feet is required for the property located at 2770, 2822, 2826, 2830, 2834, and 2850 Northeast 187th Street, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant has requested that this item be deferred to the July 1st, 2025 local planning agency meeting.
Can I have a motion to defer to July 1, LPA? Vice Mayor Alinsky, seconded by Commissioner Friedland. Let's vote.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blashman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
The motion passes.
4B.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval pursuant to Section 31-145B3 of the City Code of Ordinances. 1, to permit a density of 69 dwelling units per acre for a project providing hero housing where the city code permits 25. 2, to permit heights up to 17 stories, 174 feet, where the city code permits 4 stories, 50 feet. And 3, to permit minimum floor areas of 800 square feet for one-bedroom units, where the minimum requirement is 900 square feet, for the property located at 2770, 2822, 2826, 2830, 2834, and 2850 Northeast 187th Street, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, the applicant for item 4B has requested that this item be moved to the July 1st, 2025 local planning agency meeting.
Motion to defer to July 1. Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Vice Mayor Alinsky. Let's vote.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Ain,
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
4C.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval pursuant to Section 31-145E4 of the City Code of Ordinances. 1, to permit a density of 65 dwelling units per acre for a project providing hero housing units where the city code permits 25. 2, to permit heights up to 29 stories, 311 feet, where the city code permits 10 stories, 100 feet. 3, to permit units with floor areas from 500 square feet to 1,250 square feet for 1 to 4 bedroom units, where the minimum requirements are 800 square feet to 1,350 square feet. And 4, to permit 1,709 parking spaces, where 2,271 spaces are required by the city code, for the property located at 20801 through 20807 Biscayne Boulevard, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Motion to adopt the resolution made by Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Ain. Mr. City Development Director?
Thank you. Good evening. Kevin Klopp, Community Development Director. First, I'd like to start by letting the public know, and you all know, that the LPA is a recommending body. You provide advisory to the City Commission. Last month at the LPA, you recommended approval of a code change that would increase the allowed density in TC4 zoning district when hero housing is being provided from 50 units an acre to 70 units per acre. The LPA recommended approval of that, and then you as a city commission recommended that, or adopted that on first reading as well. Tonight is now the project that would be proposed under those regulations. You have seen it at workshop. You did see it at a previous city commission meeting, but tonight is the actual approval of the conditional use that would allow it. So I give that introduction to say that you heard the resolution, you have seen the presentation, the applicant is here and available to make a presentation. My thought would be if you would want to hear the presentation with the ordinance change when you do the city commission meeting later this evening, I'm happy to go through it quickly. If we could have on the screen the presentation, the PowerPoint, if possible. Oh, I might have to start it here.
There it is.
All right, let me start it going here. Oh, it was up. Okay, so this is the location on Biscayne Boulevard. Biscayne Boulevard is at the bottom of the screen. The two office buildings you see are existing office buildings which would remain. This is what is proposed as the development known as Aventura Corporate Center by Flow. 70 units per acre, subject to hero housing, as I mentioned. If approved, they will seek conditional use, which is what you're hearing tonight. We are recommending approval as it is a mixed-use town center, and the density is within walking distance to both the Bright Line and other retail, and it would provide hero housing. We are asking for one additional condition to be added to what's in the packet. This has been discussed with the applicant. They're accepting of it. And just to read it into the record, prior to site plan approval, a restrictive covenant is to be recorded ensuring that the access to the ground floor outdoor open space will be unfettered to the public as long as the development exists. As you may recall, and we can see it later tonight, there is a substantial amount of public open space that is being proposed. It is not being dedicated to the city as a park, but will be open to the public. And if we have this condition in there, we believe we'll be able to count it as public open space on our calculations in the future. So it will act as a park, but it will be privately maintained and operated. So with that, I'm happy to allow the applicant come up if you'd like, or if you'd like to make a recommendation on this and move on, then we can go to the city commission and have the presentation.
Let me ask if the applicant wants to say anything. You're more than welcome to. I don't know that it's necessary. After that, I'll open it to public comment.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. Mickey Marrero on behalf of the applicant. We've discussed this pretty at length at the workshop and at the last commission meeting. I'm happy to go into a presentation again. Our team, our traffic engineer is here. Should you have any questions? I know you haven't heard enough of Jeffrey Davis yet, so he's available as well. But whatever you need, again, I'm happy to make a presentation, but I think you've heard this project several times.
Okay.
So our team is here. If there are any questions.
So let me ask my commissioners, questions, comments? Okay, silence is golden, I guess. Let me open it for public comment. Anyone here want to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll close it for public comment. And my commission, any questions or comments before we vote? No? Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. I think that does it for the LPA. I'm going to need a motion to adjourn so we can go back to the commission meeting. Commissioner Rain, seconded by Vice Mayor Orlinsky. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Okay, going back to the regular commission meeting, call to order with a roll call.
Mayor Weinberg?
Here.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky? Here. Commissioner Ain?
Here.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Here.
Commissioner Bloom?
Here.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Here.
Mr. Pegues?
Here.
And Mr. Myers? You have a quorum.
Okay, we're back at 7:12, the commission meeting, and let me ask if item 6, any members or the manager need to remove an item from consent agenda?
No, Mayor.
Okay, seeing none. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve consent agenda. Commissioner Bloom is fast on the trigger tonight. Commissioner Blanchman seconds, and we will vote.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Zoning hearings, quasi-judicial procedure shall be invoked for 7B, C, D, E, and F. Mr. City Attorney, do you want to repeat what you said 4.5 minutes ago, please?
Okay. Please be advised that the following items on the commission agenda are zoning hearings and are quasi-judicial nature. As such, the quasi-judicial procedures of the city shall be invoked for these items. If you wish to object or comment upon these items, please inform the mayor when public comments are requested. An opportunity for persons to speak on these items will be made available after the applicant staff have made their presentations on the items. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation for these quasi-judicial items. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse either to be cross-examined or be sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the commission to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. I'm assuming there aren't any ex-parte communication disclosures, but I just put it on the record in case there is, if anybody had an ex-parte communication.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you want to swear in anyone giving testimony?
Yes, if you will be speaking on any of these items, I need you to be stand up and be sworn in at this time for any of these items. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
7A, please.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 31, Land Development Regulations of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Section 31-145E, Town Center Office Park Mixed Use, TC4 District, to allow multifamily residential densities with a maximum of 70 dwelling units per acre for developments that provide residential units to the city's Hero Housing Program, subject to conditional use approval, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve the ordinance. Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Vice Mayor Orlinsky. Kevin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 4.5 minutes is pretty good for the LPA. We'll try and move through this as fast, but I think we should give an opportunity for the public to hear from the applicant. This is the same project I spoke about just a few minutes ago. This is the conditional use approval for the Flow project. And I think this is the regulations part first, I believe, right? Yes. So this is the second reading of what you did at the previous meeting, which was to increase the density when they provide Hero Housing to 70 units per acre, which allows the project to go forward.
Okay.
Would you like to go through and have the applicant right away or handle just this one?
I think we're good. If I'm going to leave that up to any of my commissioners that want a presentation, or if they're satisfied with what we saw on when we workshopped it at a public workshop meeting. And of course, I'll open it to the public as well. Does the applicant want to make any comments? Okay, any member of the public want to speak on this item? Seeing none, let me close for public comment, ask my commissioners. We've workshopped this, we've gone through this, we've learned everything we need to know. I think that we don't need to hear it all again. If anyone wants to, we will. I don't see any, so I'll close it. I'll thank the commission, and we will vote on the issue.
Commissioner Blashman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
7B.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, approving a small-scale amendment to the future land use map of the City of Aventura Comprehensive Plan pursuant to Section 163.3187 Florida statutes to redesignate an approximate 3.01 acre tract of land on the southwest corner of Northeast 187th Street and Northeast 28 Court, identified by folio numbers 28-2203-043-0010 and 28-2203-033-0010, from business and office to town center, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the comprehensive plan, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I need, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant has requested that this item be deferred until the July 1st, 2025 commission meeting.
Motion to defer. I am not surprised that it is Commissioner Bloom, but Commissioner Blanchman, nice job seconding. Let's vote.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg?
Yes.
Motion passes.
7C.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending the official zoning map by changing the zoning designation of an approximate 3.01 acre tract of land on the southwest corner of Northeast 187th Street and Northeast 28 Court, identified by folio numbers 28-2203-043-0010 and 28-2203-033-0010 from Community Business District B2 to Town Center District TC1, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
I'm sorry, the applicant has requested that this item be deferred into the July 1st, 2025 commission meeting.
Well, how about if I entertain a motion to do just that? Commissioner Friedland makes the motion. Commissioner Ain seconds. Commissioner Bloom, I am so disappointed in you. Let's vote.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinski?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I believe we're up to D.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting a variance from Section 31-145B1A of the city's land development regulations to permit a mixed-use development where the ratio of square feet of residential uses to commercial uses is 10.58 to 1, where a maximum ratio of 3 to 1 is required, and variance from Section 31-145B5F to permit 1, a front setback of 15 feet where 25 feet is required, 2, a side street setback of 15 feet where 20 feet is required, and 3, a rear setback of 12 feet where 20 feet is required for the property located at 2770, 2822, 2826, 2830, 2834, and 2850 Northeast 187th Street, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant has requested that this item also be deferred to the July 1st, 2025 commission meeting.
Well, in that case, I'm going to need a motion to defer. Commissioner Ain, seconded by Vice Mayor Orlinski. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinski?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
7E.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval pursuant to Section 31-145B3 of the City Code of Ordinances. 1, to permit a density of 69 dwelling units per acre for a project providing hero housing where the City Code permits 25. 2, to permit heights up to 17 stories, 174 feet, where the City Code permits 4 stories, 50 feet. And 3, to permit minimum floor areas of 800 square feet for one-bedroom units, where the minimum requirement is 900 square feet, for the property located at 2770, 2822, 2826, 2830, 2834, and 2850 Northeast 187th Street, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant has also requested that this item be deferred to the July 1st, 2025 commission meeting.
Very surprising. Can I have a motion? Commissioner Bloom, back in first place, seconded by Vice Mayor Orlinski. Let's vote.
Suppose I'm going to be outdone.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Orlinski?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
You know, if you ring in before I ask for it, it doesn't count. It's the same as Jeopardy, okay? So
I've noticed that's been happening a lot up here.
follow the rules. 7F, I believe.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, granting conditional use approval pursuant to Section 31-145E4 of the City Code of Ordinances. 1, to permit a density of 65 dwelling units per acre for a project providing hero housing units where the City Code permits 25. 2, to permit heights up to 29 stories, 311 feet, where the City Code permits 10 stories, 100 feet. 3, to permit units with floor areas from 500 square feet to 1,250 square feet for 1 to 4 bedroom units where the minimum requirements are 800 square feet to 1,350 square feet. And 4, to permit 1,709 parking spaces where 2,271 spaces are required by the City Code for the property located at 20801 through 20807 Biscayne Boulevard, providing for conditions of approval and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Blanchman, seconded by Commissioner Bloom. Kevin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And if I could have the presentation put on the screen just for a moment, as I want to point out the green space that will be provided in the development plan, as you can see here, which is that additional condition that I read during the LPA. I'd like to add that, obviously, to the conditional use approval if you are so inclined this evening. And I'm available to answer any questions about the project or have the applicant present if necessary.
Would I need a motion to add that additional, Mr. Attorney, that additional condition with the green space? Do I need a new motion?
No, but I mean, just incorporate that into the original motion.
Okay. And it'll be, when you vote, you're voting to incorporate this. When each commissioner votes, they're voting to incorporate this additional condition. Does the applicant want to make any comment? Okay. Any member of the public wish to speak on this item F? Okay. Any member, I'll close for public. I did open it, now I'm closing it. Any member of the commission? Nope. Okay, let's vote.
Commissioner Blatchman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Ain,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Alinsky,
Yes.
and Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
First reading ordinances, Madam Clerk, 8.
An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 48 of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Section 48-11, parking restrictions, and Section 48-12, restrictions on commercial vehicles or recreational vehicles, to modify the regulations relating to commercial vehicles loading and unloading of vehicles and other materials in residentially zoned areas of the city, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Thank you. I need there's a lot of dollars per hour leaving the room. Stop the clock, stop the clock. Travel time. You got to negotiate a better deal with your attorney. Okay, I need a motion to approve. Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Ain. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I recommend the City Commission approve the proposed ordinance amending sections 48-11 and 48-12 of the City Code. This amendment is necessary to strengthen regulations related to the loading and unloading of vehicles by commercial vehicles, including car carriers in residentially zoned areas of the city. The city has experienced a noticeable increase in commercial vehicles, particularly car carriers operating on residential streets and rights-of-ways. These vehicles often block lanes, slow down traffic, and create safety issues for our residents and drivers. While our current code already restricts most commercial parking and loading in residential areas, we have seen a growing issue with how these areas are used, especially by car carriers and other large commercial vehicles. This ordinance helps clarify the rules and strengthens our ability to address the problem while still allowing for necessary exceptions. It also gives our police department the authority to enforce these rules directly, which is an essential step towards preventing disruptions in residential areas.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I just add something, if that's all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, what's required is approval from DOT in Miami-Dade County. So there's a possibility we may not be able to bring this back in July. It may be at the meeting after that. We'll try to get approval as soon as we can, but we have no control over that.
Got it. I'm just glad we're moving forward. Hopefully tonight, I'm tired of the dangerous condition that this creates. It's an accident waiting to happen, literally, and we're getting out in front of it, which is great. Assuming that the commission agrees with me. Anyone from the public want to discuss this item about car carriers in the middle of the street, unloading and loading? Seeing none, I'll close it for public comment. Any comments by the commission? Any questions? Okay, let's vote.
Commissioner Bloom,
Yes.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Erlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, 9, second reading ordinances. Madam Clerk?
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending ordinance number 2024-18, which ordinance adopted a budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year by revising the 2024-2025 fiscal year operating and capital budget as outlined in Exhibit A attached here too, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to carry out the aims of this ordinance and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve? Commissioner Blanchman, seconded Commissioner Bloom. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This mid-year budget amendment for fiscal year 24-25 addresses several unanticipated items and funding needs not included in the initially adopted budget. And these amendments are necessary to ensure continued progress on city priorities, compliance, and service delivery. Grants and interest earnings cover the majority of these increases. We had approximately $313,210 in grants and interest earnings. Also, some of the other larger improvements included $76,000 for improvements where we put in new basketball courts in Founders Park, additional lighting and fencing, and then also $182,000 for government center improvements, roofing repairs, and city welcome signs. In addition, we ended up paving the other side of Country Club Drive to coincide with the stormwater replacement, and that was a $925,000 increase, and that is covered by CITT funds. I recommend approval of the mid-year budget amendment, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay. Any member of the public have a comment on this issue? Okay. Any member of the commission have a question? Okay, let's vote.
Commissioner Friedland?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner Ain?
Yes.
Commissioner Blatchman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Erlinsky?
Yes.
And Mayor Weinberg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Any reports? Manager, clerk, attorney?
No, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I mean, I would defer to the manager if he wants to mention it, but I just thought it'd probably be a good idea for somebody to mention where we are with the school construction project. Brian, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Just, we recently went out to RFP for design services for the design of the school. That RFP closes on the 27th of this month. In addition, we are going to be going out shortly for a construction manager to build the project. So we're in development with that. We're also working with our engineers for relocation of the stormwater retention pond that's existing on the site, and we're moving very quickly on that. And we've been working with Durham and again, Stormwater Management District to get that done. As soon as that's done, we'll begin some foundational work with the construction manager when they're selected. And we hope to progress and move very quickly on this project and to have some designs ready for the commission to review and approve towards the end of the year.
Thank you. It's very encouraging. Any other reports by any commissioners, which we've now moved to the beginning of the meetings, but Cliff, go ahead.
I just wanted to say to everyone, a big thanks to our finance department. Our audit was completed and the budget is completed. They're going through a change in software, so I just want to commend them. They're working very diligently. And anyone who knows when you change software with everything going on with the school, it's really vital that we keep up to date, and just want to give kudos to all the staff.
Thank you for that, and thank you for that. Finance Department, great job as always. Okay, before I ask the city attorney to explain the process of public comment, let me first see if there is anyone. Does anyone want to speak? You get 3 minutes to tell us how good we are or how badly we suck. Okay, seeing none, I'll close it for public comment. Any other business? No, then I need a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Bloom, seconded by Commissioner Ain. All those in favor say aye. Any nays? We're adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Recording stopped.